most of the millets are comparatively ruksha in nature, dry in nature, and that dryness varies from, we can say, for example, for understanding purpose, dryness to the degree of 1, dryness to the degree of 2, and dryness to the degree of 3. So, in that understanding, all the millets are in dry in nature, they are ruksha in nature. So, whenever such ruksha is there, means it contains more number or more quantum of fibers in that, so that's why it becomes more dry in nature. And such type of foods which is dry in nature and which is difficult to digest in the gut and it is causing trouble, in order to overcome those difficulties after eating, so we are trying to cook them in a very typical manner. And because these are very dry in nature, they lack in moisture content, so that's why we soak them heavily for a longer duration in more quantity of water. Then we cook it, and while cooking, we add something which is Agni improving things like Ardraka or Shunti and something like that, Jira. So all these things will improve the whatever the preparations we are preparing. It will be digested inside our gut in a very typical manner. To improve that Agni, we are adding these things. So it is a typically a right kind of things to do it, depending upon your understanding and your taste and your place where you are staying and all these season. Keeping in all these things in mind, you can make a combination of either shunti or either ardraka, fresh ginger, or jeera, or even hing. That's combinations with the millet, so that it can avoid the pain or digestion related issues later when the millets are consumed. Prameha or diabetes or madhumeha, it is due to the excess kapha in the body. So when there is excess kapha, there will be more snigdhata in the body or anxiousness. So in order to overcome that, the people are suggesting millet type of things, and because these millets are comparatively drier and they have less madhurata in that and more fibers, it's not easy to digest and delays the digestion process. So thereby absorption of glucose is reduced when millets are consumed. So that's the reason they are telling that, because it also contains a less quantity of glucose compared to wheat and rice. So, but thing is, you observe that all millets do contain some glucose, but only thing is their absorption will be delayed because of the fiber content in that, and your system is not ready to digest them when we suddenly give it. It may take certain time. And people are very much accustomed to eat ragi or something millet in particular part of the world, and similarly in certain part of the world, there people are very clearly and they are able to eat bajra. They are very easily digest the jowar. These also bajra, jowar also comes under the falls in the category of millets. So
Okay.
they are ruksha in nature. So in entire concept is that we need to give the ruksha pada. I mean, when there is a ruksha dravya is being given, we need to cook it more with more water. And intention of introducing a millet in a person who is suffering from diabetes is just to overcome the anxiousness or the kapha tattvas in the body. But we need to monitor these patients regularly in order to understand what the changes happening inside the body when we introduce these things. Over a period of time, when comparatively these millets are used, patients start controlling the sugar levels, and of course, lately, off late, he starts complaining of pain in the joints or feeling something dryness in the body, something like that. Then that is the time that you need to understand that how to reduce these millets to some other lower down the positions. So we need to understand these things, and of course, it's a regular pattern of evaluating the patient each and every time, then adjusting the system. So you need to adjust them with the quantum which you have prescribed earlier. If it is causing a quite good sufficient reduction in the blood sugar levels, and patient is complaining of something like pain in the joints, something like that, then you need to reduce the quantum of millets. That's the reason how we need to balance the protocols. These millets can be made into vatachurna, something like that, but rough structured powder forms can be done, and a very
Right.
fine powder can be done. So I usually tell my patient to mix those things. For example, if you are preparing a cake or pancake, it's called as a roti in Kannada in here. So when
Right.
we add the rice flour, doing these things, then I said, okay, you mix 50% of the rice flour and 50% of the ragi millet and make a pancake. So that will be good for the introductory things or something like that which can be introduced, and thereby reduce the load of glucose from the source, from the starch, from the rice portion, and you can introduce these fibers as well as the benefits of millets in the form of 50%. So don't try to replace in any person suddenly the entire diet of one time with millets. That will going to definitely cause you trouble.
Thank you, doctor.
It is always better mix up with the existing pattern, 50% of that and 50% of this, then mix it up. For example, if you have suji or rava, from that you can make a powder of these things, millets in that fashion, mix it with that and prepare upma. So something like that. You can add both these things 50%, then do it, or maybe 70%, 30%, depending upon the requirement of your understanding.